Welcome back to my channel. My name is Coralie, and today I am going to talk to you guys about my favorite makeup brushes ever. So I have a few selection of makeup brushes and tools that I use on the daily really to do my makeup. So if you want to know about them, keep on watching. But before you leave, once I upload the makeup tutorial on this look, I will put it somewhere on the screen so you guys can, I guess, watch and learn. So let's get started. So first, my favorite most used tool I think is the beauty blender. So a beauty blender is a sponge. It's basically a teardrop sponge that you use wet. Well, I mean, I use it wet, some people use it dry, to really, you know, dab in foundation. But I don't only dab in foundation, you know, I pat foundation, concealer. I often set my concealer, and whenever I'm done with all of my powders, sometimes I go in with this again. I set my spray with some setting spray, and I go and press the setting spray in my skin with this beauty blender. This is really something I use like almost every time I do my foundation. Like, unless I'm in a rush, I always use a beauty blender. It's one of the top makeup tools. I feel like without a beauty blender, there's a few things that I can't do in my makeup because I just feel a little like I have to use it. So yeah, so this is a great tool. You can find them in Sephora, the beauty blender website, or maybe other retailers. I don't really know. I usually just buy it at Sephora. So here. Now for the base, we're gonna start with foundation. That is like foundation brushes that are not beauty blenders. My favorite makeup brushes to apply foundation with that are not a beauty blender are the Real Techniques buffing brush. So it's, I believe they changed the packaging. Well, the color of the packaging, like the ferrule is more hot orange. So I'm sorry I'm not getting this right, but like, you know. So it's this brush. It's really good to really buff in like foundation. It's amazing, doesn't leave streaks, and I really like it. So yeah. But there's also, for my thicker, creamier foundations, this simple Glam Girls brush, which is part of their oval brush set. I've talked about this in some videos. It's really good when you want to do like a quick application of a really thick and creamy foundation. You can use liquidy foundations, but I just feel like for liquidy foundations, I gravitate towards this brush or the beauty blender more than this. For concealer, as I said, I use my beauty blender. My beauty blender is my absolute favorite way of blending out concealer because I have many creases under my eyes. Like, they're not deep, but I have many, so the beauty blender just really helps me pat it in. And because you're not pulling at your skin with a brush, it won't create premature wrinkles. So this is, I mean that's great, right? So yeah. For powder, I have two brushes actually. So one that I've been obsessing a little more over lately, but like, you know. So I have this e.l.f. brush. It's the ultimate blending brush. This is like not super dense, but it's not super loose. It is great for packing powder foundation or just like translucent powder all over your face. I love this brush, and it's like, what, $6? So it's like really affordable. You can find it at a drugstore, and it's amazing. I love it. Then I have this brush from Simple Glam Girls again, which I don't think I mentioned earlier, but I have a code with them, and it's Coco Beauty, all caps, for 20% off. I'll leave all of my codes in the description bar below. So this brush I really love for foundation because it's very like, it's a little domed and it's pretty round. So when I just go in for foundation, like, I love this brush. I've been obsessing over this one more than this one lately because I recently got this one, but honestly both of them I use with love. Now we're gonna talk about bronzer and blush brushes. So I have this brush here that I love to use for bronzer. It's again from Simple Glam Girls. By the way, all the unicorn handle brushes are from a set, but yeah, I really love them. And it's pinched like this, so you can really go into the hollows of your cheek, around your face, so really bronze up the skin. Sometimes I use it for blush too because, like, I don't know, it's perfect. It's really good. But for blush, I also use the Christian Siriano blush brush numero 15. So number 15. And I just like, it's slightly like, it has like a weird, like, slight little angle kind of, but it doesn't really. And I love to apply blush with this because it's kind of flimsy, so it doesn't provide like too heavy of an application, especially when you're using a blush like the the NYX, this blush, girl, you can go from like no blush to girl, like do you have sunburn on your cheeks? Just saying. Highlighting, oh, highlighting, I have two brushes for highlighting. I have a fan brush and a non-fan brush. So I have the Real Techniques setting brush, which it's a setting brush, but it's the size of a highlighter brush for me, so I just use it to really like highlight my whole entire face. I love this. This is so good if you want a very like packed application. Then we have this simple Glam Girls, again from the same set brush, to really it provides a more light application of your highlight, obviously, but it fits so well on your cheeks, right here, your nose, your cupid's bow, and like on top of your brow. I love this brush too, and all of these brushes are really soft and good quality, so I definitely recommend all of the brushes I'm talking about in this video. Now we're gonna jump to eye brushes. To start with, I have this little brush from Simple Glam Girls, the Oval collection. This brush I use all the time to conceal like around my brow because it's so little and thin. You just go, it creates like a perfect line and a straight line, and I love this brush so much to carve out my brows. I used to use other brushes for that, but I only use this one now, like only, and I'm in love. It's great. Yes. Then I have this brush, which is a little like oval brush that I usually use to like contour, like blend like cream contour on my nose and just like highlight, or sometimes just to really blend out if there's like a harsh, like if there's any harsh lines, like foundation missing from like a spot. I usually use this to really blend it out, sometimes even like right here. So this is just a very detailed brush. Nobody needs this brush, to be honest. It's a little really detailed. It's only if you're really like perfectionist, I guess, you will need this brush. For the eyes, I have this Christian Siriano eyeshadow brush numero 28, and I use this brush to set my primer, my eyelid primer. So I just use it and then I set from like brow bone to eyelid to like lash line. But I don't know if it's really special, but I just love that it's a little fluffy, but it's still flat, so it like packs really the color on. So I love this one. So first of all, I have this brush from the Simple Glam Girls unicorn set. It's amazing to blend eyeshadow. It really blends well. It's really big and fluffy, so if you have eyes on the bigger side, you are definitely gonna love this brush. If you have eyes on the smaller size, maybe it won't be too appropriate. Personally, I have medium eyes, kind of, and I love this brush. It just blends transition shades so well. I use mainly this brush to create like this eye look. I use like this brush and this Real Techniques base shadow brush, which is great to really go into the crease and be a little more precise, and my fingers to really create this whole eye look, which I love, obviously. And then I have the Real Techniques Deluxe crease brush, which is it's kind of dense, and it's great for really buffing shadow. If you made a mistake, you applied too much eyeshadow in one place, you can just really like blend it out and buff it out with the Real Techniques Deluxe crease brush. Finally, for blending brushes, I have the e.l.f. contour brush, which is obviously not a contour brush, it's like an eye contour brush. And I really love this when I'm creating halo eyes, because I go like in the inner corner, on the outer corner, and it's detailed, so I can go like really deep into my crease like that. And you can even go a little like on the lower lash line with this. It works perfectly fine. For my lower lash line, usually for my lid color, I will use my fingers and then like a brush like this to really carve it out if I need to carve it out. But I also use this brush to go underneath my my lower lash line, because it's really soft, so it's not gonna like tug at your eye, and it creates a very like. Then I have this Real Techniques fine liner brush, which I always use for my liquid liner. Even when I use the NYC eyeliner, I put it on my hand and then I go with this brush and go in, because I prefer using a very fine brush in order to create a very precise and fierce wing. My last brush for today is going to be the Real Techniques accent brush, which I love for like highlighting my inner corners right here. Like, it's really good for that, or just like detail work on the lid, like highlighting a little like the brow bone. It's very like great if you want to highlight your nose too, like right here. It's a great accent brush, you know. it wears his name perfectly. It accentuates the makeup. So I really love this brush too. Oh wait, actually the last tool is for when you want to apply lashes. I don't necessarily recommend that tool. It's like this came with a pack of 5 eyelashes from the brand Kiss, and this little applicator thing, I am never going back to fingers, girl, because when you take the lash and you just like apply it, since it has this curve and you hold it at the base, you really can put it on, and then you can just adjust it with your fingers if you want, or with like this little end thing. And I think anyone should have this kind of a tool. And you could use tweezers, but I feel like tweezers are not the same thing because these offer support on most of the lash. So yeah. So that's it, guys. These were my favorite makeup brushes. I want to do like another one eventually, like maybe 1 or 2 years like from now, to see if it's gonna change a lot because I think it is. And so if you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to comment video ideas or really anything you want to comment, girl. And click on the bell button to be notified every single time I post a video, because you don't want to miss any, now do you? Also, if you like me, my personality, or the content I put up on YouTube, feel free to subscribe to my channel, girl. Let's have a fest. Yeah. Also, don't forget to follow me on all of my social media. I will put my Snapchat little snap thing. I don't know what it's called. Snap code. My snap code right here somewhere. Screenshot, please do. And I will leave all of my social media links down below. So thank you guys so much for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye bye.